Hello guys, welcome back again. This is Suresh from his automation channel. Today in this session, let's understand how we can read and write a data to a JSON file using a Python coding language. In the last series of Java, we have seen how to read and write data using a Java. So I will share that playlist in the description box. You can find from there. And in this session, we will discuss with the Python. So before we get started, we have to understand there are two functions which are called as dump and dumps. So basically, it's a JSON.dump, JSON.dumps. So these two functions are used to convert a Python object to their respective JSON objects. So let's see one by one. Let's see first JSON.dumps. So in this we need to provide two parameters. One is dictionary, one is indent. So let me add one comment called JSON.dumps. So dumps is a one of the function. So this functions we will see. Now, this function accepts two parameters called dictionary and indent. So dictionary is something which the name of the dictionary which should be converted to a JSON object, and indent is it defines the number of units of indentation. Basically, Python is all about the indentation, right? When we write a function, it should have an indentation of 4 units or 4 spaces. So it is something like that. So for that, I need a dictionary. So this is my dictionary, a simple dictionary called for the student. So I will add one more comment called data for JSON file. Okay. Now in the next line, let's add one more comment called how we can serialize this JSON. So how we can do the serializing of JSON. So I will create one simple object called JSON object. So this is just a naming convention. But now we will start the actual JSON dot dumps. So there are two functions, right? One is dump and dumps. So we will use the dumps here. So in this dumps, we have to provide two things. One is a dictionary. So here under that, I will provide dictionary, and one more is the indent. So indent equal to 4. So I will show you how this indent will work in next few minutes. And now after that, serializing a JSON object, now we have to write the data to a JSON file. For that, I will create one more function called with. So with open, in this I will simply give a file name called sample.json, and here we have to write the mode. So we have a different modes. You can see the information is popping here. So we can use a simple mode called w. So w refers to the write operation. So now we are creating a JSON file, right? For that we are using this, and we can entirely call this function as a JSON file write. Okay, and semicolon. In the next line we can simply call that JSON file write. So in this write, I can provide the entire serializing of JSON, which is a JSON object. So JSON, I think I made some spell. Okay, JSON. So same thing we are taking under here, JSON object. So all is needed only these two lines and dictionary. So now let me quickly run this. So once I run, there is no errors here, and you can observe there is a simple sample dot JSON file created. You can see it is in a proper JSON file kind of notation. The four indentation that we have given, right? Indentations. So if I move my cursor there, if I do a left arrow, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the indentation of 4. So that is what it is referring to, the indentation with help of JSON.dumps. So we will see now how we can use the JSON.dump. So in this JSON.dump, it is a one of the method to convert again from the Python object to a JSON object, where it is accepting the two things. One is a dictionary and the file pointer. So file pointer is something which a pointer of a file open in a read or append mode. So we will see how we can create that. So entirely it is using the same kind of concept, but here So I will simply copy and add a comment. So in the next line, so this is for JSON dot dump. So JSON dot dump function. So in this JSON dot dump function, we will use a dictionary file, but we will not use this deserializing of JSON. So instead of that, we will just use the with dot open. So this time I will say that this is a sample.1 sample.1 JSON, and with the write operation I will say this as JSON file writer only, but instead of using the JSON file writer as to create or write, so for that I will use a simple JSON dot dump, and in this function I will simply call my dictionary comma JSON file write. So I will create this. I will just run it again. So I will run this file again. Now you can see there is one more file created called sample.1. You can see it is just created as in a one liner, whereas in the previous one it has created in the JSON file of notation. It is also JSON file of notation, but it is missing the indentation. In the dumps it is using the indentation. That is the difference. So now we have created two different kind of data, right, using a write operation. So now let's see a simple read operation. So read operation is very simple. You can write with only just one line. So for that, what I will do, I will again comment out this all. Now in the new line, I will again called reading. For reading, what we will use is JSON dot load function. So JSON dot load function we will use to read the file. So now what I will do, I will start with open, because we have to open the file which is already been created, right? So for that I will do a sample.json file. So first we will use one of the file which we created just now, and which is in the mode of write or read. It's a read, right? We have created write in the before method. Now we are using a read. So entirely I'm calling as a read JSON. In the next line, what I will do is I will again read the JSON file. So for that JSON file reading, I will just simply name a object called JSON object, and this JSON object uses the JSON dot load, and in the load operation I will provide this read JSON. So read JSON, and in the next line I got my object. Now I have to print that object. So print JSON object, right? Simply save, and I will run this. Now you can see entire JSON has been printed in my console. Now if I wanted to see what kind of JSON file it is, so for that again in the next line I can use print dot type. Under type again you can provide the JSON object. Simply save and you can run. Now you can see the JSON object came in your console, and it is saying that it is a class dictionary. So this is how you can read and write into the JSON file using a Python language. It uses a simple language. So if you have any questions, queries, you can post in my comment section. I will help you out. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe and share with your colleagues. Thank you.